Yeah. So you just started with Scandinavia or already did something, Ignas? Yeah. You can hear me well or something is wrong?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
All right. You, I hope microphone is working. Yeah. Super. All right. So maybe then let's start. I will share my screen and then we spend this time for you because this is the period when I want that first of all that we have a chance to share our experiences and also have questions, answers, and also feel free also to comment maybe if there is some specific topic you are most interested or also willing to know better because here I am to share with you my experience. I come with very wide international sales experience, and I'm a sales coach and as well as sales lead and commercial director already for like 15 years across different markets. And so I decided let's start with Scandinavia maybe because this is something that is very close to the Baltic market, and you can learn from each other. You can also ask questions, and we can think what is the most actual at this moment for you, right? So let's start with quick intro. So first of all, we have quick day, short introduction day where I'm going to discuss with you what is Scandinavia, why Scandinavian market is important, why we need to think of this market, what are the key issues and problems when we work with this market, and how we can solve these problems. What are the key questions so we can address in order to find the best solution. And the best solution for us definitely is to win a new business in one of the Scandinavian countries or in all of them. So it depends really on you. Yeah, while I'm talking about myself, maybe you can start with a quick chat. You can write in your in the chat box how many years you work with Scandinavia in which country, so that the others can also see that, and maybe you can exchange some contacts afterwards and have some valuable insights for each other. So if you can just quickly add to the chat box like how many years you have spent in Scandinavian market and in which countries, so I know what is basically the focus. And also maybe there is country that you want to develop more, or there is a region you want to develop. What is in the most exciting part for you? 1 year in Sweden, yeah, perfect. Meaning that Sweden is never ending process. Yeah, there is a lot of things to learn about. I see Sweden again is the most experienced one, and yeah, perfect. And uh, yeah, Southern Europe, right? So, which means that you will continue to discover all the other Scandinavian markets like Sweden, Norway, and Finland and Denmark. And I will give you explanation what's the main difference is. Yeah, very nice. I believe that you have already some kind of idea about the specifics of these markets, but let's just think of what is something really, really special we need to take into account, and what I see from my experience, because I have been doing global sales and Scandinavian market discovery from very, very different angles. I started as aviation expert in basically in tourism and aviation and transport for around 15 years. I was building, maybe you know Air Baltic, which is a local airline. I have building the international sales strategy, meaning that opening the market, opening the partnership opportunities, opening all the governmental discussions, and so which brought me full and very wide idea about the Scandinavian markets in from internal. So I've built like 20 offices in Scandinavia and have built also the network of partnership agreements, which are still working for my company. Then for airline, now I am in IT business and in coaching parallelly. So IT business is really the area where you should be very clear about the goals, what you want to achieve, and the contracts are huge. So I am currently managing very different clients all across Nordic region, and my clients are from IFS, from financial services, from communication, media, technology, transport as well, healthcare, very, very different. So that's why I'm very proud to share the knowledge and be your let's say advisor in certain areas. And I have coached already like 10 years different companies across the world with their strategies. I help them to create international sales and communication strategy. I'm also the one who is related to communication. I'm very proud and very excited when I see the results coming through the efficient communication. And this is what makes I see that the clients are telling about me is that I am a strong communicator, and which is inevitably the best success story for building any type of businesses and signing any contracts. You should be first of all very strong in communication, and then the global mindset definitely is something that helps me very much. Also knowledge about the cultures, which also helps me a lot in different areas. And yes, in the Scandinavian market especially, however, it is very close. But I see so big differences that we need to face all the time when we come to decision making, when we talk about partnership, when we talk about any specific terms of cooperation. You always need to keep in the mind how people think from their perspective, from their cultural perspective. And also that is related not only to communication but also to strategic entry, like product localization and how I localize, how I position me and myself. So yeah, it would be great if you put in the chat also what are clients are telling about you in Scandinavia. What are your key three strengths that you think are your strengths in Scandinavian markets? Are you communicator? Are you the one who knows how to deal with contracts? Or you are very strong solution maker? How do you see yourself? That would be really interesting to see for us who you are basically as a sales manager, how your clients are talking about you. What do they say about you? Anyone brave? Put it in the chat, please. What do you think you are in terms of selling and in terms of strategizing? What are your strengths? Yeah, Ignas is selling that great communicator, right? So that means that you always try to find the best solution together with the client rather than being very much oriented on yourself only, right? Yeah, in terms of communication solution finding, this is probably the best thing we need to do. We need to be oriented on both sides, right? And in Scandinavia, knowing the fact that these are the cultures where consensus driven decision making is the most important, where basically finding common agreement is the key thing to have in terms of communication, and very much being focused on each other values. Reliable partner, exactly. That's trustworthy relationships. Absolutely. You are really ideal salespeople for going into Scandinavian market, I should say. Thank you so much for this. So once again, my experience about Scandinavian market is different. So from inside, when I opened the markets, then I developed a Swedish IT business from bid management perspective. So I know how to negotiate the contracts, financial agreements, and the other side, I was and still I am the leadership manager leading teams across Nordics and helping them to be great salespeople. So I'm a sales excellence lead in Nordics. So thus, I am sure I can give some kind of a background information why and what I can help with. So, and yeah, I have, as I told you, I have very wide experience as a coach, as a strategic coach, as a partnership coach. I am a practitioner, so my goal is to see that you, as a client, you get the best from what I give to you. So about you, I understood very well good things. That first of all, you are really strong in communication, which is perfect. You are reliable partners, and you are focused on growing Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Finland probably as a potential partner. Can you write me in the chat what is currently the challenge and where the challenge is in one of the Scandinavian markets? Is it partnership related? Is it to communication related? Or you have certain questions that you haven't answered yet? You haven't got an answer. So we can be very, very targeted today. Just give me one big challenge or problem. And before that, I tell you why Scandinavia market is important. Yeah, but don't hesitate. Please write in the chat your issues, your problems, your questions towards the Scandinavian market. So, why we need to go to Scandinavia and why we need to build go-to-market strategy and why it should be very, very accurate. First of all, because yeah, we know that this market is very potentially strong. It has high consumer demand. It has a very tech savvy population. So everything digitalized. Everything is very simple, accessible. It's very eco-conscious, which is for Latvians, for Baltic people, really, really important because once you are focused on the market with the right values, you can always adapt your values. So the Scandinavian market is eco-conscious, which is relevant to what you are saying, what you are producing, probably sustainability, definitely. And don't forget, there is very intense competition, but there is also strategic differentiation, meaning that they are strategically very strong markets. So that once you enter in this market, you can be very strong reference to the other markets, meaning that if you enter and successfully manage, strategically manage Scandinavian market, you are the actually can be very highly valued also in other markets, in European, in the southern, in the eastern markets. For me, it was always a great, let's say, a selling point, telling that I am strong in Scandinavia. I have managed to do a lot of things, and I started with Scandinavia, which actually sounds very, very solid background for me as a sales company, as I mean a company that is focused on the values of specific market. And this is very cultural sensitive market, and this is probably the key that you need to find during whole process of management and communication, especially if you look for a reliable partner or you want to find one or two best partners. You need to be culturally very well educated, and that's what I can tell you honestly from my experience, that it is so exciting to be in the market where you kind of feel the business. You understand that they are very pragmatic, they are very clear and transparent. At the same time, there are many hidden, let's say, parts that we don't know just because we don't understand why it is hidden. And I will explain you why it is hidden, because this is the part of the culture, basically. This is a part of the culture to be as reserved as possible in terms of any emotional and non expressions. It's and from anything expressive, it is away from that. Basically, Scandinavian market is about very, very attentive and very careful listening, about attentive and empathical view of what they are facing at this moment. They care about their safety, they care about their about the trust. They care about community at the same time about their individual values. And this is why finding best partner is can be difficult at the first point, but it's worth trying and it's worth looking for the best solution. So doing business in Scandinavia, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, as you can see, it is important and it is necessary because everything is well organized. For you to enter in this market, only thing you need is to be very, very focused, very, very attentive, and be trusted. And trust really means a lot to Scandinavia, and bring this feeling of safety to the market. And then, and then you can freely say, yes, I have gained certain trust in the market because my client, my partner feels safe in my environment, the environment that I give them. So keep this thing in mind about safety, equality, and ability to listen to each other. So yeah, decision making is exciting part of this whole process. Yeah, as I mentioned to you that from the cultural perspective, everyone is very, very equal. And in Scandinavia, especially when we talk about Sweden, from a cultural dimension perspective, this is the most feminine culture. Feminine means that they care about the feelings of each other. They don't want to show off. They don't want to be stronger than the other. They don't want to touch another feelings or somehow make someone feel uncomfortable. So that's why decision making in Sweden is so hard because everyone is equal, as you can see in this circle. This is why they look for consensus. They look for questions and answers between each other. And this might take you a lot of time. You just need a lot of patience. Maybe you can put in the chat your experience, how long decision was made in your case, and what helped you to make the things faster. And if you agree with such a circle, yeah, those who were in Sweden and those who worked with Sweden, just mark what is your experience with Swedish decision making. So I see that especially in my company and in other companies that I see, also my client companies, we have been spending like 3 days in one training just talking about the fact that people, we don't need to come with our view of doing business if we enter in such market like Sweden. We need to be very, very empathical, very, very uh, interested in understanding their situation at this moment. So if Swedish person says to you, I will come back to you, or they might not say you anything, actually it means like in between. It probably means the fact that they show the respect to you, but they need more time to understand whether it is worth investing their time and attention, because their question is it safe enough? Is it trusted enough? It's not bad, it's not good, it's really the fact. It's your task here is to ask right questions in the process of communication with them, in process of decision making, so that you really can feel what's the reason behind why it takes so long for them to find a decision, right? I haven't seen anything in the chat. Can you just give me some few signs? Do you agree with the Swedish decision making? And Finland, Norway, and Denmark is a little bit different. It's you can see there are some key players, key decision makers in this circle, and why it might take it shorter. This process of decision making can be shorter just because of the fact there are leaders in the decision making there, and it means that you will come to the point of decision once first of all everyone has found a way how to show their opinion. They have shared the opinions, but at the same time they have also a manager or someone who helps to figure out the best solution. So this is why in Finland, in Norway, in Denmark, you will need maybe less this consensus finding rather than being focused on the specific goal of decision and how decision is usually made in specific company, in specific culture. You need to learn from the very, very first meeting. And you will probably see that in Finland, it will make much, much faster. It will happen much faster. In Norway, it will take a little bit longer time, but they will tell you what is missing. What's the difference from Swedish is that culture in decision making, you might not understand what is missing. You will need to figure out what is actually missing. Yeah. Any questions? Anything you want to add? Anything you want to give as emoji? If you agree with me, smile or anything, it will help me to understand whether it is useful for you, at least for now. Yeah. Any emotions? Ooh, I'm here.
So maybe I will share my
Yeah.
experience, in Sweden. So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm prefer speaking instead of writing. So
Very good.
we are working just for 1 year in Sweden at the moment. So from my point of view, I could say that I totally agree with you because the decision making, especially with our supplier, with our client, it's really long, so it takes time.
Yeah.
And to compare with other suppliers, I think
Hmm.
it takes a lot more, than
Yeah.
comparing with the other countries. So I totally agree with you, but the main problem I see at the moment that is, we are not in a rush to make you answer and etc. You have to push them,
Yeah.
for example, for the
Yeah.
products, for the discounts and etc. And you have to how to say, just repeat your messages. Maybe kindly reminding them we are waiting for your answer and etc. So there is the main problem for me and for us, for our company that I see. So it's really interesting how to deal with that situation, or
Yeah.
we have to be patient and understanding them, or not pushing,
Exactly.
or otherwise we
Yeah.
have to push them more. So it's really interesting.
Hmm. Exactly. This is very common question that I hear from the Baltic cultures going into Scandinavian cultures is basically how patient we should be. We should be very patient because this is the only answer. Because the way how you can figure out where the problem is first of all being as close as possible to them with a very short, let's say, either, I don't know, follow-up calls every week or something, that you agree on certain instructions, how you meet each other in order to get a little piece of information from them and help them to, with very small steps, to understand where you're going next, but very small steps, like small commitments, not like huge commitments, right? Like we used to do that. Let's agree on the big deal. Let's have these terms. No, no, no. Let's agree first on the first step. Like, what about generally cooperating with such company like me? What would you need from me in order to convince you? Maybe you need some kind of numbers. Maybe you need some client stories, something that make you feel credible to talking to me as well. Yeah, and then step by step you kind of feel the way it is more comfortable for them to make a decision. And yeah, patiently ask question, what would be next thing that you would like to hear from me, in order to feel, let's say, comfortable with decision. Maybe you would like to invite more people to the meeting. That's absolutely fine. I'm also ready to invite more people in the call from the other units if you need. I mean, you should be very patient. I understand it's not always common to us to be, let's say, pushy. I mean, not pushy from our point of view. This is not pushy. We think we are doing right, but from the other angle, they see us being pushy just because we rush too much. From their perspective, we rush too much, and this feels them uncomfortable and unsafe. So that's why we need to be cautious about this. And this is important everywhere in communication with your partner, with your client, with your colleague from Sweden or Finland or Norway. You will feel it everywhere. And it is related to serious project. It can be related to very small commitment. Let's go for a dinner, it will be consensus discussion for an hour. Shall we go for a dinner or not? So just take some empathy and be ready for that. So once you are starting to think about this, it's already a lot, because once you talk to Scandinavians, you understand few things in period of time. That first of all, silence is a part of the dialogue. If they keep being silent, it means they are listening to you and they actually thinking of the next step. Don't think anything bad about them at that moment. Don't judge too fast. Yeah, be patient. Emotions are hidden, so you might not see what is reality. Do not rush with solution. Why we like in my with my client portfolios, I very often consult the client saying, don't be so much in love with your product. Don't be so much in love with your solution. You should be in love with your client, right? So this is what Scandinavian client is looking at you, is how do you feel them? How do you understand their values? How do you listen to them? And this will be valued very, very high. And only then you come with solution. Only at that moment when he is ready or she is ready to take your solution. Be very protected. They are protecting their privacy. That's why do not enter with already solutions that might somehow make them feel uncomfortable. So especially when you look for a partner who might be your partner for a long period of time, but they don't want to start these commitments right now. They need little pieces of commitment. So they might feel their privacy might be unprotected, or they might feel this is not protected when you enter with long-term agreements with plenty of risks, right? So be careful about the risks that you put in these agreements. And relationships are based not only on chatting, but really on the context, on the value, on the quality. And this is quality that I told you. The quality comes with ability to understand their values and the needs. Yeah, and orientation on long-term values is really important. So that's also common mistake, I would say, coming from the Nordic Baltic states. We see that we very often come with very short view. Let's say we come to Scandinavian partner and we say, if we sign agreement today, in a week you will be able to sell this through. In 2 weeks you will have the results. In a month it will be already the project is over, right? So this is not what Scandinavians will value. They will value what you propose to me as a partner, to feel comfortable now, but also in the future. So make the accent on the future as well, besides only now, because yeah, this probably is can be a difference between us in the Baltics and the Nordics, that we don't spend too much time on thinking what will happen in the future. We mainly focus on what is happening today. And in our sales world, we might mislead our clients with this. Yeah. So if you agree with me, put something emotion to me, yes, no, smile, whatever. This will help me to feel that you are with me. Olga, give me some smile in emoji, please. I know you you can do that. All right. So, but this is what I wanted to. Yeah. Thank you, Yuta. Thank you. I know that once we come with go-to-market strategy, and this is basically what we have to aim for, what I have understood from so many years of experience, that without very detailed go-to-market strategy, we cannot enter in the market. So, for example, which also involves the communication and the management processes and decision making, but it's answering to only to one question: how, right? But go-to-market strategy is answering to very many questions. So first problem we need to address when we come to Scandinavian market is that we have no clear plan. Thus, we basically jump from one point to another. We test many things at the same time. We believe in promises very quickly and do not actually judge them whether this is really true or not. The second thing is that we come without experience to the market, and we really our activities are based on assumptions. And in order to avoid these assumptions, you really need to have a good analysis, understanding, feelings. You need to have someone expert next to you, or some kind of support professional who can help you with that. So without experience, we really lose sometimes. Yeah, and sometimes, and not only Scandinavia, but in general, it's we need to tailor our product or service based on the values of Scandinavian market or specific market tendencies, values. But then you need to understand what these values are. And the number 4 is you don't have this ideal partner profile. Can you answer your question? Like, who is your ideal partner? If you can write in the chat, start already brainstorming. Who is your ideal partner? What could be the best cooperation model with this partner? And then we will brainstorm together. Is it relevant to the Scandinavian market or not? Yeah, so just put in the chat like what is the ideal partner profile for you at this moment before I tell you something more. Yeah. So number 5, large wholesaler, perfect. Yeah, maybe you can give some also description who this could be, like from the business perspective, open sharing, some kind of incentive agreement based on, maybe you can think already of the contract value, contract terms of this partner. I will tell you whether this might be relevant or not, and how to deal with it. Yeah. So number 5, clients encounter obstacles very often. I see that from everywhere. My clients are coming from banks, from large association, governmental organizations, manufacturers, IT, aviation companies. They have the same issues with Scandinavian market because of communication, because of this fact that they don't know how to manage this process of finding common language. People don't understand each other well, very often give up too early with Scandinavia just because of that. And number 6, decision-making process is absolutely unclear, right? That's what I showed you, these 2 circles. That's something that already helps you to understand what to do, how to react on that, right? How to be ready for that. And as a result, what happens if we have these 6 problems? We have no confidence in the market. Very often, clients are just giving up, they're leaving the market, they're thinking of something different, but they have already invested money, they have invested their time, they have invested their great resource, maybe also traveling very often, but by the end, no movements, no movements. That's what I hear from my clients very often. There is no movement. I don't understand what's happening. I can tell you, even no movement in Scandinavia is movement. No result is also result in Scandinavia. All you need to do is just come back, always be patiently, come back to the beginning of the deal, the beginning of the story, revise it with positive attitude, come as a new joiner. Even if you are experienced salesperson with lots of experience dealing with different markets, sometimes in Scandinavia, you need to feel like you are junior, like you are a young person just starting business, because you will need to very patiently listen to what happens in and ask questions and be able to observe them empathically, yeah, with intimacy. Yeah. So when we talk about the partners, fast reacting, not sure, not sure. In Scandinavia, fast reacting could be only someone who is not Scandinavian, or someone who is mixed with the different nation. It can be so. Basically, when I entered in aviation business, my partners mainly were half Swedish, half I don't know, Jewish, half Swedish, half Turkish or Indian, or yeah, or half Austrian. Calls can be like that. These mixed nations help us, us Baltic people and Scandinavians, to work together, because the more it is pure Scandinavian culture, the more is prevailing this, process of difficult decision making, and these their let's say features of their characters and of their culture become even more complicated. So this kind of fast reaction you can get from the partner in case you are really focusing on these or niche clients and niche partners with mixed nations. That can happen. Active listener, yes, active listeners Scandinavians are, and they are usually listeners without emotions. So be ready for that. The wholesaler, if it is a big company, definitely, if it is very local company, they will look for a local, something really local. And Scandinavians are very patriotic, right? So which means that first of all they will look on the local stuff, and only then, if your stuff is giving additional value to the local one, then you can say, that's fine, that sounds something relevant. So the key reasons why we lose, basically, I explained to you that we don't have this plan, we don't have this experience, and we don't have guidance. We don't localize the product, but we rush to bring this as ours. So that's what I'm telling about the understanding that product should be bring additional value to already local product. And in Scandinavia, local product is something really, really, really strong. And identify partner with some kind of profile. You need to build this profile of a partner, like ideal. Just put in the list already while we speak on somewhere on your page, like all the characteristics of your best partner, and also from contract perspective, how you will control them, how they will share with you the contracts and the money. Basically, write down what is the best profile you feel it, but then you need someone help definitely to revise this. From the Nordic perspective, communication challenges definitely, and decision making, and lack of trust, which brings to unclear, let's say, next steps in Scandinavian market, because no trust, no movement in Scandinavia, no trust, nothing happens. So that's why, with the Scandinavian approach, when we talk about very clear understanding on the each step, where we learn profoundly about each other values, then we can start growing our presence in the market. And this picture that you see on my screen is the process that I have built already for many, many, many years. It's based on my experience and experience of my clients. And my main learning from this is, that step number one is the most important. The very important is the step number one, because in step number one, you ask yourself a question: do I really need it? Am I ready for that? Is it my market? Yeah. So that's why it is important that you start going through very deep analysis of yourself, of your organization, of your culture, then of the culture of the market. Step number two, you understand what is the market values, what are the opportunities for you, where are the risks. So you understand this is your market, you want to go there. And number three, you identify what you want to sell. What is really something that you will localize, that you will deliver to a specific niche. And finally, number four is about whom. Well, like what are your key clients and what are their buying values. And finally is how. And how is what we just discussed about the partnership. Maybe you don't need a partner. sometimes in Scandinavia, you can manage very nicely without a partner with direct communication. Why it is possible? Because knowing that these cultures are individually oriented on individual values, they are not collectivistic, like, for example, I don't know, Italy or India or China, very bright collectivistic markets, but they care about their own goals. Yeah, that's why that's why you can sometimes manage either win-win agreements with partners at the very beginning, but then for a short period of time you agree that, okay, you let me in the market, I open this ways how to work, and then I can do everything by myself. Or, but you need to be very transparent, or you go directly and then you look for your own niche, for your own experts, for your own advisors in this region. And that is possible. That is also possible. It might take you a little bit more time rather than if you go through someone, but still possible. So this market allows you to do also things directly. Yeah, you can write in the chat, how do you feel, which stage between 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 is most challenging for you at this moment, where you would like to be more deeply focused at this moment, at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. As per your comments before, I think how probably is the one that is more problematic at this stage. Is like find a partner, um, establish communication, how to manage negotiation, right? I don't see anyone on the chat. Like, give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think? Yeah, the answers are coming. Number 5. Yeah, 5 is basically the one that is most challenging because you might have gone through some steps already, but still miss this final part. But then it's worth to think, Ignas, have you done carefully number 1 or 2 or 3? Yeah, so you can always come back to that. You can always revise your strategy. And this is what I do with my clients very often, that we also revise the existing strategy. We go to step number 1, even if you have already started to do things, and then into 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, because then you will reveal a lot of new things to yourself, like where the focus was lost, maybe. Yeah. All right, all right. Thank you so much. Then let's go to step 1. Basically, what are these step 1 questions that we need to answer and ask ourselves? Are we ready? And here the questions are very different and many. And are you ready from organizational perspective? If your company is ready to wait, to be impatient, is it ready to invest in so much time and money while you bring these relationships, while you travel there, while you spend time establishing this market? Because it will take you a lot of patience, a lot of time, and also money, definitely, right? You might also need to participate in some events. Who will do that? Who will have the time and language and skills and everything? And is your organization ready to accept these different values of a market rather than what is in your culture? Like, yeah, we in our culture we used to go for achievement, for results, for very quick decisions, and here it is absolutely different. And the fact that you need to start at the very beginning is answer to the question, what are your realistic goals? And are you ready to adjust your goals so that you don't all the time go after one goal? You can always revise it. You can, based on the very detailed analysis of the market, you will understand what are the gaps, what you need to improve. And then you come back and improve your product, improve your service, improve your sales communication team so that you really can adjust it. Yeah, if you agree with me, anything you want to add, just give me some emotion, give me the comment. This definitely would help me to see if you are with me as well. Do you know how to show emotions? There is like somewhere there was in the chat. No, not in, yeah, maybe in the chat, and also you can share some kind of smiling and faces or whatever. That would help. Super, super. Yeah. So this is about step number one, which is extremely important that you really, because I have in my stories very many clients saying, but I have a feeling it's not my market. I don't have a confidence this is my market at the very beginning. So maybe we need to reorientate our focus. It can happen as well, and which is also a great result of your analysis. Then step number two is where you want to sell, where in the region. So have you considered distance, transports, costs? Also, what is your product philosophy? Does this product that you sell is your cheese basically, for example, cheese example, um, with the same philosophy as it is in Sweden? Like, do they read this? How do they read your cheese philosophy, your product philosophy in their language? Yeah, because sometimes we have our own view on how we translate this, but the market is translating it differently. Like I was proposing to one company, I was helping them to sell bread, Latvian bread to Belgium clients, and Belgium clients translated this bread as a very strange chocolate. They said, "What if different taste of a chocolate? It doesn't. It looks like chocolate, but the taste is so different." I say, no, this is really not the same stuff. So that's about the same about you. How do you translate your product to your Scandinavian partner? Does he really feel this great value that you bring, and is the same value, or maybe they value something different? Like you say, it's fast, it's we can make things very fast, we can make it very easy, but your partner in Scandinavia wants to have this product being for a long term, for example, or they need more and more time to test it, and they basically need more attention to this rather than just going fast, easy, simple, and cheap. Yeah. So also question about pricing. Have you got questions about prices, and have you got comments that you are too cheap or you are too expensive? Did you get such comments from Scandinavians? Yeah, if they say it's expensive, this means a lot. It means it's really, really good product. If they say it's cheap, it means that this is not something they see the value. So this market is very much about the value. So where to sell is about not only the how you find your niche, it's about how are you able to build their trusted relationships and with language, and language not in a sense of Swedish or Latvian language, but in a sense of cultural language. Do you understand each other on the same way? And strong references, right? If you enter in the Scandinavia, let's say in Sweden, and you have very strong partners in Denmark, then you can always say, I am present in Denmark already, which answers to your question where to sell. Yeah, it's worth to go to Sweden if you have already something well established in other Scandinavian markets. So you can always be proud of your references when you identify and clearly see this is your market, this is where you want to go, right? And of course, build trust through understanding cultures, through feeling their values. Step three, what to sell. That's what I mentioned earlier about localization. You should localize in what to sell stage. You need to localize not only your product, but also everything around your product, like pages, internet pages, everything what is around it, about your descriptions or your website. Have you basically adjusted your website, Ignas, for example, have you adjusted your website to Scandinavian market, or you don't have a website at all? How does it look like from your point of view?
Not yet, not yet.
No, not yet. But are you
Actually,
thinking to
we are
do that?
working.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in the near future, yeah, but I want to clarify that we are working with import from Sweden, not export to
Ah,
Sweden. Yeah, so
import.
maybe
All
there
right.
is
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the main difference. But I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So regarding to the, for example, the yearly goals, when you just set the yearly goals, for example, just to reach, for example, 1,000 in turnover, yeah, and etc.
Yeah.
In your opinion, how Scandinavians, especially Sweden in this case, are willing to give you a time if you not to reach your yearly goals, for example, if you
Mm.
sign a contract and you set goals, for
Yeah.
example, in the 2024 we will reach 100,000, yeah, but
Yeah.
you didn't reach that number, for example, you
Yeah.
reach 80,000, so
Yeah.
do we, or how to say, we are willing to give you your time, or we are making pressure on you, or just are we are willing to help you or give the tools to reach that
Yeah.
goals?
Yeah.
Because in my
Yeah.
case, I see that it's struggling, because
Mm.
we the partners in Sweden want the result, but it's
Yeah.
really short of time to reach that, and we are
Yeah.
struggling, and etc.
To
And
achieve this. Yeah. So this
yeah.
is their problem, basically. They cannot achieve this goal as your partner. Yeah. Or from their side, basically they are missing something to achieve this goal.
No, we are
Yeah.
missing, because we
You.
are
Okay.
buying the products from them and
Mm-hmm.
distributing in, for example, Lithuania, yeah? And we are set some goals, but we are now missing how in the terms, for
Yeah.
example, we are not
Yeah.
reaching the numbers we want, and etc.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do we are willing to give you your time? My question is,
Mm.
do we will to give your time to reach? Do we are give
Yeah.
your tools for reaching that? Or we
Yeah.
are not?
Exactly.
Or
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly, Ignas. This is what Scandinavians very often do. Even if there is a problem achieving certain goals, they celebrate every small achievement. So you should they feel very bad when let's say someone is saying which is giving a value, is it good or bad? They feel fully demotivated once we say that we are so far from the goal. We always should position that to Scandinavians, saying, let's celebrate this, this let's celebrate sounds everywhere. Even if they achieve very small portion of what was expected, we always say, let's celebrate at the beginning. And only then we need to ask them what else you need in order to achieve this or that. How can we help you? How we can make this process be better organized or something like that. So this definitely pushing is not the strategy with Scandinavians at all, and they celebrate every small achievement. Yeah. So if you can somehow help them to achieve this goal, then just ask them how can I make it work for you, so that maybe you need different tools, maybe you need different processes, instructions, maybe you need our people next to you, more support. This is about this empathy, about this feminine understanding and values from the culture, that they want that you listen to them very carefully, and that you don't push them for a result, but you care about the result, that you care about them as well. Because as soon as we start pushing, they will go away from the contract as such. That's because this sounds too risky, unsafe. So this safe environment is key for them. I hope I
And one
answered the
more.
question.
Yeah, thank you very much. And one more,
Yeah, you
I
can.
know that,
Yeah.
yeah, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, I just, wondering that I saw some signs that maybe in Sweden, we are more value the local partners, not like
Mm-hmm.
abroad, not like Baltics, or it's true or it's more false.
Just once again, the question, I couldn't catch that. Something was missing.
Oh,
What is
yeah.
the
So
mm-hmm.
yeah, so I noted that, only in my opinion, that Sweden, we are more value the local partners, not like
Yeah.
from the other countries, etc., like Baltics, or
Mhm.
small countries. It's just my, point of view.
Yeah,
So
exactly. They really see local partners as being everything local is more valuable to them rather than foreign. It's true. Yeah, they very appreciate everything what is coming from Swedish, Norwegian, everything in Norway, Norwegian, Sweden, Swedish, in Finland, Finnish, is most trusted rather than foreign. Yeah, so that's why for us as a for Baltic market, we need to win this attention and win this let's say trust rather than prove it all the time. We just need to go step by step with very small steps to get this trust from them, so they really feel the quality and they feel that it's really worth investing your time. So I also have few things for you to add here. So once you talk to your partners, talk and represent your product, you talk about work life. I mean, these values will should be in your mind. That everything you propose, everything you sell and continue to sell to the market is with these values. So if they are very different from yours, then just be ready that there might be some misunderstanding. And this is why we need to build our patience, consensus driven relationships, and we need to be very, very careful about how we bother or not bother their feelings and how we make them feel more comfortable celebrating happiness. Everything about positivity will help you to win any type of misunderstandings. Here, just keep a very close look on how do they feel about this. Don't push. So when I was comparing the markets and how the markets position themselves, so you can just see how you are positioning your product. Are you like Volvo for life, or you are positioning like Germany, das Auto, driving machine, very masculine, very target oriented. So everything you position to Scandinavia should sound like Volvo, like very soft, very nice, very accurate. Yeah. And finally, almost final question, like whom to sell. And your whom to sell questions should the answer should be that your client is value driven client and your partner is also value driven. So not always the price is something that you need to put first. You should start to put first the value to your client. And once you understand your client or partner real buyer values and buyer needs, by the way, do you know the difference between buyer values and buyer needs? You can write it in the chat while I talk. So, what do you think is the main difference between value and the needs of those who want to buy something from you? And yeah, so once you have clarity about how you're going to win specific niche of the client, value driven client, you build trust through individuals, you need to trust through communities, and thus you really figure out your, let's say, key understanding of your clients. Where do they buy, from whom they buy, when they buy, and what type of information they need to buy in order to buy from you, right? So that's why this analysis is so important, like where your competitors are, how do they make your Scandinavian client or partner feel comfortable. So no need to invent something new. You can always look what competitors are doing or similar competitors in Scandinavia, and so that you sound and behave more like a local. So that this will make you feel you will be as more trusted partner rather than somebody foreign, right? So they will consider you as local, and thus by analyzing step 4 very in much in details, you understand then how what are should be the actions to this market. For example, consumers in Sweden, I read it everywhere in the articles that you should be aware that this is consumption patterns are very much oriented on individuality and equality. So everybody who is um, trying something which is valuable, they will stay with this valuable product for long because they value the quality, long term, and honesty and transparency from you. If your product is somehow reflecting this, then you can win the Scandinavian market. You should be once again individual oriented on their individuality, on their equality, that everyone is equal. Your market and proposal should be very honest and transparent, and your partnership agreement should be very honest, transparent, and very much focused on their safety. Yeah, so these key values that we need to understand. And finally, this is where we enter to how to sell and how you will uh, organize your activities. You can make your activities step by step. It's very distance. It's not obligatory to start traveling very often. You can also make short phone calls with your potential clients or partners. You can visit their events. Definitely, they like lunches. They like breakfasts. They like to spend time together somewhere in some kind of communities. But again, local communities. Try to figure out your niche. Let's say if this is pharmaceutical or retail business, or is it something else, you need to a food or beverage industry, find the specific niche experts who can bring you in this local environment so that you look like local, you sound like local, you are a good listener, active participants in this type of events, and thus you kind of observe the real business atmosphere, the business culture of Scandinavians, and then it's easier for you to sell. So my experience shows that the more we have people in the market, like I was moving and working from Sweden, from Norway, like 3 years, 2 years, then definitely I could reach much better results rather than if I do it on distance from Riga, for example, right? The same I'm doing time to time with other markets, like I'm living in Brussels, I was living in Paris, in Spain, just in order to really feel the market, to be the strongest, let's say, expert in this market. So I understand what is happening, who is doing what, how people are exchanging information, how they're learning, how they are buying, everything. So this is probably what we need to be sure of. And when you start exhibitions and events, I have also done trainings for events and exhibitions for large companies that started first of all with a investment, huge investment in the exhibitions. I said it's never necessary for Scandinavians to have huge investments. You just can have one or two, three partners on your stand with one table with few brochures. The most important is you. In Scandinavian, the most important trust is comes through you, through who you are as a person. You don't need to bring huge billboards to events or exhibitions, you need to be very focused, again very focused to the real value that you can bring, rather than on these beautiful stands, like it could be, let's say, in United Kingdom, or in France, and everywhere, let's say in Eastern European markets, where you need to show off, right? In Scandinavia, you don't need to show off. You need to be very clear about who you are, what you're going to bring, how you put people together. You organize something like a nice breakfast at the beginning to meet each other, to introduce with each other. Then you have another meeting somewhere in the middle of the day, so you can have a little presentation, and then you have a dinner, and then you have, let's say, after dinner, you have in the morning business something event. So thus, with very small pieces of activity, you can bring this whole view of who you are, and bring and build this trust together. So I hope you have the same experience with the events, exhibitions. If you can share, wonderful. I have done many exhibitions during my experience, and all the time was looking at them as more like a scanner, how many potential leads I can get here, how many, in which events I will spend lots of time and money, and in which events I will spend less money but will get huge visibility, just because I know the clients I will meet, I know the partners whom I will meet. And also I go to exhibitions to collect information, to basically learn about my competitors and about my product. So, is my product really good for this market or not? This is also how I use the events. So, finally, tips finding the right partner. First of all, you should be a niche expert. Don't use someone very wide, who knows everything about everywhere. I know such examples when there are, let's say, tenders of partnership agreements, and in those tenders wins the same company, because they say we can help you with everything. So it's not the best scenario. Look for those who have good references. They have used to work with other markets. They don't work only with Scandinavia, but they maybe have been working with some European partners, or they have some experience working with European partners. So they already know how to deal with you. And it will be more, let's say, loyal approach as well, rather than if it is purely local company. Yeah. You need to consider how your costs are controlled, how your visibility is controlled. So whether your brand appears somewhere, or you don't talk about the brand, you just forget about the brand, and you just go for the same volume, and like Ignas was telling, just trying to get the volume first, and reach goals, and there is no, let's say, need to bring some visibility of your brand. But if it is important, then you need to clearly identify that in the agreement, in the incentive agreement. If you make us grow for this amount of money, we will make our brand visible, and how this should look like. So make these terms very clear, ready to be your friend's face in front of the client. If it's not you who is going to the client, but someone else, like somebody like a sales representative, then be very sure this is the right face, the right face of the partner who you need to invite to be your partner profile. Yeah. Yeah, but I suggest you to start selling directly. Try to do that directly, but see if it becomes hard, if it becomes difficult. Definitely, you should find another good one or two partner who will be helping you to reach the goal. But you need to have this clearly identified goal. What is your, let's say, future presence goal? Not only for a short period, but how you see yourself in Scandinavia for 5, 10 years, how you want to grow there. So think from that perspective. So my program on these 5 steps has really helped a lot of people. I have worked with large organizations, as I told you, in different industries, and we made this kind of a master where we went one step by step, in order to get in the whole go-to-market strategy revised, repolished. It can be very valuable for those who already started selling in one market or another, or those who already sell but they need to, reorientate. They need a little bit more detailed understanding what to do, how to do, and which parties should be involved. So this is what my clients are telling about this program, is that clear step-by-step strategy help them really to implement the things already after the course or during the course. Because during the course I ask very, very detailed questions, like scanner, are you ready for this? Are you ready for that? Have you been brainstorming on this or that? And then companies rebuild their mindset, and they understand what is missing, what has been something they haven't paid attention to, and maybe they see new ways how to enter in the market. Then companies also have been becoming more confident in communication, negotiation, marketing, and also dedicating right time to right activities, right? So maybe they haven't got enough understanding, like where we need to be, what we need to do in order to win one or another attention. So this five step program have helped them a lot. And yeah, very important thing that I heard from people saying that, from companies, that we have saved lots of costs, and now I know how to spend my budget, how to where this budget should be. Yeah, so for Scandinavia, and then you get the maximum value out of it. Yeah, so for those who are interested to furnish, rebuild, or maybe learn a bit more of their own go-to-market strategy and advice, and make it stronger, then I have created this 6 weeks program, which consists like 4 weeks where we go through every step and you do real activities in your organization. It's not only you're just learning and doing nothing. No, the every single week is like about the activities that you do right during this course, and you learn from what you have learned and what you have understood within your organization. You come back to your company, to your sales department, to your marketing department, and you start building things and changing things. 4 weeks we go like step by step, and then last 2 weeks we have, I'll show you it here, and last 2 weeks I have with the, let's say, with a live session with questions and answer sessions, where we can look at your strategy and say what's working, what's not, and what we can improve. So how do you feel about this? How does it feel like relevant to you, for those who are here present at the at the webinar? Does it sound this like step by step approach relevant to you, or anything you want to add about that?
I totally agree with you, and I'm really thankful that you share that kind of news, because there was more or less, we know it, but we heard new things, and it's a really good, for improve communication with the Scandinavians, and deal with
Yeah,
challenges.
yeah, super. Very good. So I invite also to join this bootcamp. If you are really interested, then this will be really exciting. Or you can invite your other companies that you know that want to go to Scandinavia. We can be all together as like one team, sitting together, going step by step on weekly basis, like just 1 hour and a half. Yeah, one session is 1 hour and a half. So basically 4 sessions where we'll go through all these details, and it helps basically to identify many interesting things. Just what I shared today is just a very, very little piece, right? But just to give you an idea what we have to pay attention to. So yeah, so once you have this idea of who, if you are interested to join this program, then I will be super excited to see you there, so we can build some kind of a go-to-market strategy for in 4 weeks. Like, we start in November, and imagine by end of December you already have the ready-made go-to-market plan that you are ready to start from January, for example. So that was my idea. What if we start, this is really my invention, I would say, based on my experience that I have given to companies in Latvia, in Finland, also in Sweden, and other clients and globally. They have these closed solutions, like where I was just helping their specific companies. But what if we just have this boot camp all together and we learn from each other? I think that would be super, super exciting for me to see you there. I will share with you a quick link, and please leave your thoughts there. They will be help me. That will help me to understand how I probably can help you next, maybe in this program or maybe another way around. I will be super, super interested, and for of course I'm very happy that you have first of all joined and you have participated, because this is so good that we can chat, we can also learn from each other, and imagine how many things we can learn from each other when we are in a boot camp. Because in the boot camp we kind of go step by step all together, and we see how every one of you is dealing with this problem. Like one from manufacturing company, one from, I don't know, pharmaceutical, and then you see what is happening inside of each organization, and how they deal with market analysis, how they deal with product localization, how they deal with negotiations. Every company have their own view. So I hope this sounds interesting to you. And yeah, if you can access this link, and while somebody was maybe interested still to ask me questions about this, feel free to do that and go through the questions in the link. I also give you the link to this page of bootcamp in case somebody is interested from you. I hope someone from your maybe existing clients, partners, or friends who wants to learn about Scandinavian market. I'm very, very happy to help. Yeah, so feel free to ask questions. Now we have time for that. Yeah. And yeah, we can also have another call with you separately if you need something else. I have given you my calendar book 101 call. Yeah, if something interesting for your company that you would like to learn just for your company, you can also book a call with me, and we can go through and see what is possible. Right? Any questions? Any questions? Any ideas? Thank you so much, Ignas, and the rest of the team who were so actively participating. I'm so excited that it was. First of all, I hope it was helpful and it was useful. And
Yes, Julia.
thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Julia. It was really useful, and since I also had experience with the Swedish market, but from a bit different direction. We, in my previous work, we have been as a client for the Swedish partner. Yeah, but what you said several times during today's session, that it's really important not to be too pushy. I have to confirm 100% that it's really very important with Swedish people. Yes, not to interfere this how to say safe area. Yeah, even if
exactly.
Even if you are in the position when they need you more than you need them, even in this position still, yes, at least we have faced one issue when we negotiated the big contract with insurance company located in Sweden. And we negotiated this contract. It was a meeting with a lot of different supervisors, also talking about the decision making. Yes, in order to get a decision, it's better than to arrange a meeting with all the supervisors and the sales manager as well, so that they are all in one place. Then the decision could be made rather fast. Yeah, if not, if you're just going step by step, then it will take time. And when we participated in this negotiation, we will have been close to this contract. It was really a huge contract, and we participated with from our side. There was also the mediator, the insurance broker, and during negotiation, he just decided that we need to get some discount for this, some handling fee or something like that. And I remember that I just realized that that's close to the meeting is closing to an end, let's say, yes, because the reaction of the other part, yes, was just, oh God, no, it's enough. Yes, it's too much. You are too pushy. We will then have a break and so on. We have already almost spoiled, let's say, the contract signing, but then we just moved our strategy, let's say, yes, our attitude and communication, and then finally we signed. But we have been really close. And if we are in the position that we are selling to them, I have to admit that these pushy actions, yes, have to be even more careful, let's say, yes, with Scandinavians for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's really, really true. And it is not easy from our point of view, because we used to have things happening fast, and also decisions are made differently. And this is why very often we sound too pushy. Also with just discussing, as I told you, even discussing small things, we need to be patient. Imagine what happens if it is a contract. This is really something that needs very, very detailed, step by step, very, very careful discussions and inviting people. Yeah, it's not very common for us. It's true.
Yeah, exactly. Therefore, your tips are really useful, I guess, for everyone who is about to enter the Scandinavian market, for sure. Thank you very much, Yulia, for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Very happy. It was a useful time spent, and yeah, feel free to leave your notes, comments in the link that I shared. Will be very helpful for me. If you need also material, I can share it with you. Those who have been today at the webinar, they get it for free. Otherwise, the material is usually sold. Yeah, but and of course, this boot camp will be open. I will try to collect many people, interesting companies from the Baltic states. So we sit together and we create go-to-market strategies for each other together. So I hope this will be an exciting journey. And thank you so much. Thank you for joining, for spending time, and I wish you good luck with Scandinavia.
Thank you very much
for your time.
Thank you,
Bye.
Yulia. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye,
and stay
everyone.
in touch. You have my contact. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you very much. It was really lovely.
Thanks. Nice
Bye.
to hear you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao. The recording